Workroom, I'm so excited to have you here today. Let me show you the way the work flows through my workroom. Follow me to the receiving area. This table came with the house, and recently we brought it up higher for my assistant to work. But we also use this area for storage, for things that are jobs that are pending. And it's also actually the end of the line where everything is bagged and repacked and stored until it goes out the door. Here we have the shelves of hardware. It's going into jobs, pillow forms that are waiting for work. And of course, everybody's got the saw in the back of the utility room. We recently put in this file cabinet, and my goal is to reduce all of our extra scraps down to just what's in here. We're going to label each one of these for months of the year, and once we get back to that month again, we're going to pull everything that's in here and throw it away. Or actually, people at rummage sales and all, they love this fabric. We just give it to a rummage sale, and then we'll just keep it all confined in here and not get overrun with extra fabric scraps. It's just a matter of putting it in here, and we can easily sift through if I need something for a sample for a class. These panels are finished. They just simply need a little bit of cleanup work on the header, and then they'll be bagged and packaged to go out the door. Under here is all the class samples from all the seminars and webinars and classes I've been teaching. That takes up a lot of room. Some of it, especially when it's beautiful bump drapery such as this, that I can use as samples for classes. Now this table is also used for packaging. So we have this bagging stand here. You simply hang the panels here on the bagging stand and pull the plastic down over it and tie it off. It can hold up to 3 rolls of plastic. And the beauty of having it right here is that we can also bring the plastic over this way, and my assistant uses the table to package the balances and pillows and anything else that we finish up. So as the work flows, it starts here, flows into the workroom, and then it ends here before it goes out the door. I've tucked my air compressor into this little corner. I like having it in here because I can take the long hose in the other room and close the door when it's running. Once the fabric's checked in, it gets placed under the table here, so all of this fabric is all tagged and ready to be used in jobs. From here, when we're ready to do the job, I'll put it on the fabric rack. This rack holds all my linings, and it's great for storage for the extra lining. And I can put the fabric on this roll here and push the rack right up to my table. The fabric comes up and over the top and down past this light, which allows me to inspect the fabric for any flaws. Comes down under this arm, and then of course I have to straighten it out, but then I can pull it down the table and inspect it as it goes over the light. Cabinet on Craigslist, put my grommet press on it. I bumped it up with a 2x4 on the bottom so that it'd be level with my table. I don't have to take my panels off the table. I can just slide them down here and run them through the grommet press, and then it's easy to roll away. My Do Fix is new to me, and I'm really excited. I just got it within the last month from a friend, and I've got the track all set up in the ceiling. Awesome to have. And the main boiler iron, though, is sitting right now on a rolling cart, and I have to figure out what to do with it because this is getting in the way of me getting around my table on a regular basis. So if I get the ceiling mount, and I mount it anywhere, these are low ceilings, I'll bump my head on it, and I don't know that I have room over the table. That's my latest dilemma, is where to put the Do Fix. This is my table. It's 60 inches wide and about 120 inches long. I use the rails with the numbers on the side, on both sides. When I am cutting, I use the cutting bar. It has a groove in it, and I can simply, when I unroll my lining, I just cut right across the bar, no throwing a ruler back and forth. When I first got this, though, I found it hard to store because of the two ends. It wouldn't lay flat anywhere. So what I finally did is I simply put a couple of angle irons down here into the frame of the table, and I slide it out of sight. On this side of the table, which is the side that I usually work on, I've put another shelf just with simple angle irons and a long 1x12. And I use this to put rulers on. I pile my rulers on here. It's also used to put pins and such, but mostly it's for the rulers. And I'm really thinking I might put a second level of the shelf down here someday for different size rulers to make it even easier to grab the ruler I want. In all my efficiency classes, I really emphasize the importance of having whatever tools and materials you're working with at the point where you work with them. That's why right under here I'll have the electric scissors that can be plugged into the ceiling there. I have the clamps to grab and clamp boards to the edge of the table. I keep my zippers right here because I choose the zipper color as I'm cutting the zipper out. Also the Velcro to staple onto the boards, and my buckram is all right here at the head of the table where I use it. Having some sort of soft mat around your table, at least on the sides that you work the most, is very, very important. This mat really helps with my legs and feet. This is the pinnable wall that I teach about in all my classes as being one of the most valuable workroom tools you can have. It's called Homasote, H-O-M-A-S-O-T-E, and you might have to order it through a lumberyard, but it is compressed cardboard, about a ½ inch thick. I cover it with craft paper or pattern paper. What's nice about the pinnable wall is you can install the hardware directly into the wall that you're working on and draping from. So I can install a rod or medallions right on here, and then when I'm done I can trace the brackets and where they are and send the template along with the installer so that he installs everything where I want him to install it. I also use the board for drafting patterns and for pinning my work orders out of the way. When I'm mounting, I usually mount balances and short shades right here on the edge of the table. Say this is my covered board for mounting. All I have to do is clamp it here to the edge of the table, and it's nice and sturdy, and I can swing it out and form my corners and my returns also. When I have a bay window, I have a couple of stands that I can draw up here, and you can build this stand any way that works for you. Just some sort of structure. It's level with the top of the table, so that if I have the other board for a bay, I can clamp it to this and create my angle as it's going to go in the house so that I can continue to finish to dress my balance. I believe in keeping everything that I actually use on a day-to-day basis very close at hand, and so I work at the table here, and all my supplies and tools are right here. This is my machine room. I've got it set up in a pinwheel layout as opposed to the along the wall layout that you've seen at CHF Academy. I do it in a pinwheel layout because back when I set it up, I was not aware of other options, and what I like is that all of the fabric flows into a solid center and doesn't fall off the table onto the floor. And also, if you were to sit in each of these chairs, I have some sort of table under my left arm so that the fabric is also supported right there. This is my Juki straight stitch. It's my workhorse for the workroom. I do most of my sewing on this machine, of course. And because of that, it is the one closest to the door. That's why its placement in the pinwheel is here, so that it's a minimal number of steps between this and the table. This is my Marrow Serger. I ordered it on, just called my machines and said I needed an industrial serger. And when they brought it in, I kept wondering when they were going to bring in the rest of the machine. Ugly little thing, but it's a very, very good little workhorse also. My blind stitch, it's a Rex, which is very similar to your US blind stitch, and I have the same love-hate relationship with it as everyone else has with their machine. This is my pleater. I have no idea how old it is. I'm not even sure what brand it is because it's all worn off here. But it is the most awesome tool to have if you do a lot of pinch pleats in your workroom. You have your panel prepared, and you fold the pleat. Let's do something a little prettier here. You got your pleats at the top. You fold your pleat. You've marked where it has to be sewn. You lift the plate, and you look for that mark in this groove here. the machine has its own cycle, so you don't leave your foot on the pedal, you take it off again right away. In other words, you go down on the pedal and you come right off. And it sews the food for you. I like to use monofilament in this machine. I just keep monofilament loaded because it saves me having to switch out and try to coordinate colors. This is my tacker. I also like to use monofilament in this machine. That's my workroom. Let's head to the garage. This is the fabric rack I picked up, used with my Fix iron last month, and the bagging rack downstairs. I'm looking forward to getting this cleaned up and using it as a staging area in the workroom for some of my work. I had to set this up in my garage because it was just getting to be too much for the basement. I just have a couple tables out here. What we do now is when we receive hardware, long poles and that sort of thing, they get checked in, labeled, and then now they're stored out here on these tables in the garage so we can see what's what. This box is a roll of fabric on a tube that's about that big, and it's your silhouette fabric. I have to make a coordinating valance to go with some silhouettes. The incredible, it's huge. Oh my gosh, in the time we were filming this video, look what was delivered. One of my designers has started using me as a receiving station for shades and that sort of thing, and so I take them in. I don't have to unwrap them and inspect them, but I do deliver them to the installer when the time comes. And the nice thing is I can charge her for this receiving service.